Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going over every single book on my physical TBR that I have but I still haven't read yet. And a little disclaimer, there is going to be a lot because I have a book buying problem and I just keep buying books without reading a bunch of stuff that's already on my TBR. But it's okay, we'll get through it. And if you guys are excited for this video, give it a thumbs up. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna start off with my book cart. So the first book that I still have not read yet is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. And I'm not gonna talk about every single book that I have, just a couple that I'm excited to read. This next one is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Surley. The next one that I still have not read yet is Dial A for Aunties. And then the one right next to it, still have not read yet, is Love in Other Words by Christina and Lauren. They are two authors and they're like best friends that write their books together. And then the next two books right here is by Ali Hazelwood. I have not read Love Theoretically or Love on the Brain. The next one that I have is The Nanny. I know this one is kind of like smutty and people have raved about this book, so I'm excited when I get into it. And then the next two books are Icebreakers and Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I have not read a single book from Hannah Grace, but I've heard a lot of good things. And I'm excited to get into my hockey romance series. And then the next shelf is the second one right here, is Beach Read by Emily Henry as well. And then we're gonna have Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. It is a cowboy romance. And then the next two books are Mile High and The Right Move by Liz Tomford. Still haven't read this, but I know everyone loves the Windy City series, so I'm excited to get into this as well. I just have to be in the mood for like romance because I love fantasy books and that's usually what I read, and I read romance like in between fantasy. So I'm excited for this one. And then I have Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. I actually read the book Still Beating by her and I really enjoyed it. I just started reading fantasy like I was saying, so then I haven't gotten to her second book, but I will get into this very, very soon. And this next one is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. And this one I actually just did like a big book haul and this was part of it. So I have a little excuse as to why I haven't read this because it is fairly new to my TBR. And then this one is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And this one, I only got this book for like $5 at Book Off and it was a really good deal. And these next two books, Powerless by Lauren Roberts and these Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, are also part of my big book haul that I just did recently. So you guys can't come after me for these books. They're just newly added, but I will get to it eventually. So on my bookshelf is all of my series. So the first one that I have is from the Knock 'Em Out series and it is a small town romance. I have the entire series, have not read a single book. And then this next book is the Dreamland Billionaire series and it follows each brother and the task that they have to do in order to get their inheritance, and then they find love on the way. So the next four books are from Elsie Silver. It is the Chestnut Spring series. I have almost the entire series and everyone has raved about this series, saying that it is the best like cowboy romance, and I am excited to get into it because I know everyone loves this. And then the next three are the Kings of Sin series, And I am so excited to get into this. I am currently reading the Twisted series, so as soon as I'm done with the last book, which I am on right now, then I'm gonna hop into this. Next, I have the entire Throne of Glass series. A reason why I haven't read this is because there's so many books, but I know that I'll really love it once I get into it because I love the ACOTAR series. And another thing that's like keeping me from not reading this is everyone has so many different ways on how they like to read the book. So it's kind of what's like throwing me off, and I don't know which order I should read it. The next two, I absolutely love the cover of this. It is the limited edition of the Crescent City series, and I haven't gone into this just because I want to read Throne of Glass before I get into this, because everyone says this is like the hardest series to get into because there's a lot of world building. And next I have the Cruel Prince trilogy. I know for this one people either love it or hate it, and the people that hate it really hate it. So I'm like scared, but I know a lot of my Booktok friends love this series, so I'm gonna trust their judgment. But I just have to be in the mood to read this like everything else because I'm such a mood reader. Next, I have the whole Shatter Me series, and I know there's a lot of Aaron Warner girlies on Booktok and Booktube, so I am definitely excited to get into this and see what all the hype is about. And then these two are the Blackwell's like UK edition of Once Upon a Broken Heart and then the Ballad of Never After. I don't have the third book yet because it's only the hardcover, and I want it all to be like the paperback edition. So the next 4 books are the Magnolia Park series, and I absolutely love the original covers of this. It is just so detailed and beautiful. And I just haven't gotten into this because, like everything else, I have to be in the mood for it, but I am so excited to read it because I know a lot of people rate it very high, but it is kind of controversial because it's kind of like Gossip Girl, and it's super like dramatic and like catty and stuff. And the next 3 books are part of the Ravenhood series. I know people have cried with this series because it gets emotional, so when I want to get in my feels, I'll definitely read this. And the next 3 are the Kingdom of the Wicked series, and I just got this along with Throne of the Fallen, which is kind of part of this. It's like a standalone book, but people recommend reading the trilogy. And then I have the duology, Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. This one I'm super excited for because everyone has given this really good ratings and people love this fantasy book. And then for this one, I have the Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. For this one, people say it kind of starts off slow, but then it gets better and better. And it is a thriller, kind of like a murder mystery solving type of book. And then I have 2 Twisted Crowns. It is the second book in the Shepherd King duology. I read the first book, but I still have yet to get into this one. People have said that this second book is better than the first one. And then the next 3 is the Inheritance Game series. I've had this series on my shelf for a long time, but I still haven't gotten into it. So you guys need to convince me in the comments and tell me if you love this series and let me know when I should get into it. And the last one that I have is Scarred by Emily McIntyre, and it is part of the Never After series, and I love the other 2 books that I read from this series, so I have yet to get into this one. It's kind of like a retelling with a dark spin to like childhood favorite movies, and this one is based on The Lion King. So I don't know if you guys have been counting, but there is a total of, drumroll please, 75 books on my physical TBR, and that is a lot of books. I have like a little over 100 books in my collection, so 75 out of like over 100 is still unread, but I will definitely get into it. I'll probably still buy books, but you know, it is kind of like eye-opening to see how many books that I still need to read. But that is all for my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know if any of these books are your favorite, and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!